Okay, a little close up of that. See where it has that fracture. Yep. And it's just a washer and a lock washer, and they're on the inside too, as well. But how I fastened this down onto this piece of wood was really, you know, this is where it doesn't matter. You know, it really just doesn't matter as long as this drill is on there. I know you can hear my trailer squeaking and stuff, but when I push up and down on this thing is solid. And all I did was use some of that, you know, pipe iron strap or whatever that stuff is, and screws and washers. And on this side, you know, I got 2 screws going that way and 2 1/2-inch 1-hole straps and a 2x4 and a 2x4 underneath both sides of that. And then under here, it's just shimmed up where the thing wouldn't move. Just wouldn't move. And it's all fastened down to a piece of 3/4 plywood. I mean, it doesn't even have to be, you know, this long or whatever. But, you know, like I said, I just made this thing and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or if it was going to work or anything. So you can see there's holes in the thing and, you know, weird holes and stuff. This was a piece of scrap plywood. This is all scrap that I had, really. And I probably wouldn't even use that drill for anything but something like this either. But I had it in the shop. I'm not going to use one of my good drills or anything. Plus this one worked better, you know, like I said. But it's just this here is just resting on there so this thing doesn't shake or anything like this. And then the whole thing, it just goes onto a sawhorse. See? Woo! Almost lost it. But, and then I screw it down to the sawhorse, and then I get a 2x4 to go from that board to that board there, and then you know, sticking out a foot or 2 right there where I can stand on that. You know, just put my foot down when I'm plucking, because when you put this thing under load, you know, this whole thing might just fall over. But that's pretty much it. You know, it's really not much to it, really. If you're thinking about building one, I mean, the whole pack of these straps, I think they were $8, and I think this cap is under, it's a few bucks. And the rod I had laying around, the nuts and washers, but all this other junk, you know, you could probably find, if you're like me and your shop looks like this, where you have just a bunch of bolts and nuts and who knows what, you know. This is my only junk area, though. It used to be piled upon my entire bench right here, and believe it or not, this is clean. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. It's a good idea too. Like, this one's reversible. I think it worked better going that way, because it just, I don't know, it just seemed like it was easier for me. But you just hang on to their feet and don't drop it. But you know, if you want to see this thing in action, you know, I have a video or 2 where I'm plucking with it. They're not very long. They're only like a minute or 2 long, because you know, that's just the way I made the video at that point. But I do have a couple on YouTube floating around out there on my page. I'm not really exactly sure what they're entitled or anything, but if you just scan through the videos that I have, I'm sure you'll find it. There's probably a picture of this thing, or a picture of me using this thing. I remember I do have a video up of that, because on the end there I'm spitting out feathers, and people were laughing about that. But that's pretty much, you know, all there is to say about this thing. It doesn't take long to build. It's easy to do, you know. Just do like this, and you should be good to go. This thing can handle, I guess it depends on your drill, you know, how many birds you're going to do. I think the most we ever did with this, my wife and I, I think we did 15 in an afternoon or something like that, and it was brutal. It was a lot of work, and I do have a video on my setup too of everything else I have, like my killing cones that are all, you know, pretty much redneck style setup situation where, you know, I used like, you know, the little orange cones where I cut a little bit off where their head would stick through, and then I got a 5-gallon bucket to catch all the blood, and just like an old table I had, and you know, just a real good sharp short knife, and a couple coolers that I had full of water and stuff. It really is an art form though, butchering your own chickens, because there's a few things that I learned that I didn't really know when we first did this, and you know, at first we butchered a couple here, a couple there, and we would just kill them and then, you know, pluck them and stick them in the freezer, and then when we go to eat them, we thaw them out and go to eat them. They were terribly tough. I mean tough, and it wasn't an enjoyable thing, you know. So what I did was quite a bit of research and found out that, you know, you're supposed to you know, do your butchering process and then put them in coolers, ice coolers, you know, like ice water, you know, keep them real good and cool, and then put them in the fridge for 3 days, you know, after you butcher them and gut them and everything else and separate them and everything, you know, breasts, thighs, all that stuff, legs, you know, and then put them in the freezer, because the meat gets really hard, you know, if you just put them right in the freezer. I'm sure somebody knows another way to do it, but that's just the experience I've had. If you have any questions on this and stuff, it's probably better just to ask my wife or, you know, just comment on this and I'll ask her, because she just retains the information so much better than I do. But or that, or just Google it and figure it out, you know, everything about it yourself, because there's a waterfall of information on there. People's minds just cascade creative alternatives all day long in that thing. So, well, anyway, good luck.